Welcome to taking a look at Figma Part 2. Now, let's take a look here. Let's create a file. We can go here, the plus button, or here. I'm just going to do that. It's going to create a file called untitled in draft. I want to create a card, and we can do that by, and I'll run through some shortcuts as we're going through. I'm going to change this to, let's change it to 111. So it's a little bit darker here. Start off with text. Change this to white. Change it to white. Let's zoom in. If you hit Z to zoom in, Alt Z to zoom out. You can also click like that and Shift 2, and it'll zoom right in. You can do Shift 1, and it'll zoom into, I guess, your whole, all your elements. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Shift R for ruler, and V for the move tool, F for frame, so I can create a frame like that. Let's create a title here. I'm going to do Mac. So I'm going to create a video card. Mac OS Web Development Setup. Okay, let's zoom out just a little bit more. Tutorial series 10 Figma. Okay, so we're going to create a card for this. So what I like about Figma is it feels like you're designing for a front-end developer, and it feels like you're kind of doing CSS as well. Now, if I go here, if I go and inspect, it actually gives me some CSS. Position absolute, width, height, font family. Essentially, it's like a GUI version of CSS here. Okay, I'm not going to actually use this. When you're creating your spacings and your heights, how you're doing your text, it feels very CSS-like. Let's change this width to 220. Yeah, so we'll do that. Make this bold. And I want to make this 14. We could also go ahead and create a design style here. I can call it create style. Video title. Create. And let's go and create a second one. And again, here, if I show you the intuitiveness of the interface, it gives us these kind of spacings here. It tells me if we're using a 16 based for rems, we could do 16. Okay, so that'd be 1 rem. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to change this, break that, and make it regular. We'll give it a little bit muted color. Let's do DDDD. And I'll make this codewithchu. This will be the username. I'll have 10 views for this video. Published 1 week ago. Wow. 10 views in a week. So we have that. Let's go ahead and create a style for that. We can also call it video descript. Create the style. So we have 2 styles here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Shift A to create auto layout. So it's going to create one of these. I think if I hit this, it may do it, but I like doing Shift A. Okay, so right away and we'll call this card copy. We'll do that. And 16, we can also do half a rem. Okay, and this allows us to kind of add spacing like this, 16 for horizontal and 16 for vertical. I'm just going to keep it 0 for now. Now I want to make an avatar. Let's go O for circle, and I'm going to make it 37. and I'm going to make a frame. So you can do a frame. You can do Command G to group things, or you can do Command Option G to make a frame. So I made a frame here, and I'll call this avatar. I'm going to put these side by side, and I'm going to do another Shift A for auto. And right now they're, let's grab both of these like that. Shift A. Okay, so that was, I guess they grouped it a different way. Guess you have to select each frame. I'm going to call this card body. And let's see here. What is our internal here? So we have 11. I'm going to do 16 again. So we'll have one rem here. And this is our card body. Okay, let's create an image. Let's do a rectangle. Let's do, since videos are normally 16 by 9, we'll do a width of, let's see here, I think it's 274 by 154. So we'll do 274, oops, 154. So that is our, okay, let's do Command Shift G to frame it. And we'll call this thumbnail. And let's create an overlay. I'm going to do text. It'll be 10 minutes. Let's change this to white. Shift A. We'll make our speed time overlay or length for the video length. And we'll map it to there. And fill color black. Okay, now let's change the text here. So it has video title. I don't want that. Let's unchain this. And we're going to make it 12. We'll make it regular. This, I want the auto layout to be much smaller. What we can do here is we'll do 4 and 3. 0 because that we only have one element, so it's irrelevant for what we have there. Make it to the left here. And what I'll do here is -8. So half a rem and half a rem. That'll be there. Okay, so here's our card so far. Looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's add an image. So here we can use our plugin that we install for Unsplash. I'm just going to grab a random image. Okay, we can do art, colorful. I like colorful. It's going to just grab a random image for us. Oh, not yet. Here, let's do that. I think that's okay. Now colorful. There we go. So grab this kind of image for us. Let's call it image. And what we can do here is those two, Shift A. And now we have vertically. Now, I don't know if I showed this. So with auto layouts, there's two different layouts. Since I had them stacked vertically, it automatically makes it vertical. But if you want to change it, you can make it horizontal as well. So this could be kind of a row if you had it stacked that way. And we can do it this way. This is video card. Let's do 16. Okay, let's give it a little bit of spacing here for the body. 16, 16 here. Okay, and I'm gonna make this 0. Okay, so there's spacing around up there and down here. Now let's take a look at alignment, because sometimes it doesn't give us. So we have, that's fine. Let's take a look at these. So this is mapped to the center. Let's do left. And you can also use the arrow key. So I push left here, right is now center, and full right alignment. So I want it to be left. This, yeah, that's fine. An ellipse. Let's keep it to the left. Thumbnail, image. That's fine. I think I could probably do this as well to keep it just centered. but let's just leave it like that. This was mapped there. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, let's go and create let's make this as a component. So to do that, Command Option K, or we can click here, or you can right click and well, I already created the component, but it's around here somewhere. Now with the component, now we can go into our assets and under, it's like Command Z. So right click, create component. Under assets, we have local components and we can drag it out here. So I can drag one out here. I can also option click and drag it. It would be the same. Now let's go and create a row of them. So again, with the interface, it tells me where things are. It gives me the right guides for what I want to know. And if I did this, so when I get to the same distance, it'll tell me from that one, which that one I don't really care about because that one's more my main component. So I can just keep that over there. And let's drag out one more. And you can hit Command D to create another one. Okay, you can do Shift 2 to zoom in and Shift 1 to see everything. Let's go and create another auto layout, Shift A. And within here, let's call this video row. And this video row, I'm going to give it spacing. I'm going to do 16 or 32. No, 16. No, 32. And I'm going to give 16 on the sides. Now this is going to give me a width of 1224. Yeah, 1224. Let's take this, create another row, map that, and Command D, Command D. Let's do Shift. Okay, now we have all this. We can do Shift 2. And let's create another auto layout. Do Shift A and call this video grid. I'm going to do 40. And I'll do 16 for 1 rem. So this is a 2.5 rem. And I guess another right there would be 3 rems total. The same way we use components in our first kind of basic video. What you can do here is I can go and change these. So I can go and make these the 01 intro. 02. What was 02? Install applications. I'll just call it install. 03 was rectangles. And 04 was, I think, terminal and Z shell. And if I didn't like how this was set up, I can also go and make these changes. Video, if I want it to be, let's say, now condensed. And condensed doesn't look very good. Maybe if they were all capitalized, it'd look a little bit better. Okay, we can do that. And I didn't need to do that with the style. Like I didn't have to do it at the component level. I could have just changed it here. So if I go and change this description here, I make this 24 and bumps down. Now with auto layout, you can see here how it bumps everything down for us automatically. We didn't have to go and manually resize everything. With auto layout, it kind of just lays it out for us. Let's go back and change this back to 14. So that's the benefit of using auto layout with something like this. You don't have to do the tedious task of realigning everything. Everything is set up. Like if you set it up to being 3 rems here or 2.5 rems here, it's 2.5 rems everywhere. You don't have to kind of manually adjust it and hope that it's the same. It's very CSS-like. Now, from a front-end standpoint, front-end developer, if you were designing this, it's very component-like. You're creating a component here, you're creating an avatar here. The way we actually built it, let's actually take a look. This could be div body, this could be a div copy, p tag, h2 tag, an avatar div with an image, thumbnail, overlay with length, and an image. The way that that's built is very CSS, HTML component front end like. And if you were to use Views or React to build this, this would be our video component, video card component. This would be an avatar component, and we would have some props that go into this, where we would have our title, maybe how many views, length of time, a prop that sends the image in, a prop that sends the username in with the avatar. It helps align both the front-end developer and the UX designer to be on the same page. Now, it doesn't mean the designer is handcuffed. It's more of you need to know the rules before you can break them. And I feel like Figma definitely bridges that gap. It doesn't solve all the problems. It definitely helps with it. If the UX designer is having a hard time getting the design to work with components and reusability in mind, then the front-end developer is going to have a much harder time building it. But let's create a frame to kind of just frame it. Let's hit F, and we'll go do desktop. Let's do MacBook Pro. And we'll go here. And I like how intuitive it is with, as I drag my component or my grouped element or my frame around, it'll just put it in the right spot. Now what I'll do here is this element is to the left, centered, and let's make this fill color. We can make it black. We can do 222. Can do that. And to finalize it, we can add a title here. Okay, let's do 24. We'll do bold. Change the color to white. Align that. Let's see here. Let's do that. And from the top, from the Y, I'll give it plus 32, 2 rems. This. Let's group that, and we can align it to the center. Okay. And that's our grid. Now, again, maybe we would do it like that and have some kind of interface over here to the left, or we would bring it down maybe like that and have kind of a app top bar and an app sidebar here. But that's kind of out of scope of what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a card, show you guys how to make it a component, which is over here. And we can make it a reusable component, create a grid out of it, and make it so it's auto layout, where you don't have to do the tedious task of laying everything out. If you make changes to any of your copy, you have to go and re-lay out everything else. It's very CSS-like, front-end developer-like. Here, let's quickly see what the inspector has for our CSS. We have some relative there, some there. Yeah, we got some font styles with normal, bold. It's very CSS-ish. So that covers what I wanted to cover with Figma. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Hey, if you've gotten this far, thanks for the support. This will help the channel grow. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to click the thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. To stay updated with the latest content from the channel, you can subscribe by clicking right here in the middle.